certified.
Sorry.
So we do have a presentation and Helen is going to be presenting it. And then afterwards, you guys can ask questions and we'll answer anything that you guys have. Okay.
All right, you can skip the next slide. So this is our mission statement. We're a new division. We were wanted by the council members of the city of San Diego. So it's been about, I think, 9 or 10 months since almost a year. Is this one? Or no? That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So this is just what we're doing. Basically, enforcement, public education, risk-based mitigation. We do home assessments, resident safety. We do we work on we work with fire safe councils. We work with these things called CWPPs, community wildfire prevention plans, and etc. You can go to the next slide. So what is the WUI code or the Wildland Urban Interface Code? So it's basically, it was created to reduce the chance of homes that burn during a wildfire. So what happened was there was a study that came out and we have the Palisades, we have the Eden Fire, and sometimes you see these photos where there's one home that made it and then the whole community is decimated. So there was a lot of research, what made that one home survive? And why did all those other houses not survive? And so what they found is most of the start of the conflagration of homes is from embers. So an ember comes to your home, and then within that 0 to 5 feet, that's what we're calling zone 0. If a fire starts and your house isn't fire resistant, or you have a lot of combustible materials, dead and dying plant material, that's going to start this little bonfire, and that's going to create the catalyst to burn your home. So that's where this all is coming from. It started from AB 3074, which was passed by Governor Newsom. And so now we're starting the slow phase of implementing Zone 0. So this first year, we'll go into it with more slides. Are you able to get that yet? So here, Zone 0, year 0. So this is just us coming out, we're educating the public, what is Zone 0, why did it happen, what exactly does it mean? And then we're gonna start a slow 3-year enforcement plan. So this year, education.
I pause for a second because the Zoom can't see for 1 second. I'm sorry to.
Yeah, just see if we can do a share.
I'm sorry. So
A normal person who is a real expert. She's in a class. That's their last one.
I'm sorry.
So
I got it.
you got it? Yep.
I got it.
Okay.
So sorry.
We want everybody, we've got quite a few people online. We
Okay,
want them to be able to see this one. too.
okay, no worries.
And so I think I got it.
Yes.
Yep. Okay,
Good.
I got it. Okay.
Perfect, so Zone 0 on new construction, so any new construction that's gonna be built from February 28th this year will be Zone 0 compliant. So they will have to be permitted to have these rules in place. But what we're educating people on is existing structures. How do we make existing homes become Zone 0 compliant? And another thing is that we're only asking for compliance if your home is in the very high fire severity zone.
Mouthful.
Yeah, and so if you guys don't know if your home is with it like in a very high fire severity zone, recommend that you go onto our website and there is a map and you can input your address and it will show you exactly if your home is going to be required within this 3-year plan to maintain the Zone 0. And then
What's your website?
We'll go over questions at the end. We'll try to just power through this, and then there's gonna be a lot of questions.
We have QR codes too, this way you can go check the website and take straight there.
Yeah, we can do next slide. So like we said, it's gonna be the first 5 feet surrounding the structure. Walls, decks, and stairs. This is gonna be the highest priority area for ignition prevention. So if you can take anything away from tonight, is we just want, if you find that you are in this zone where you're gonna have to comply, we are asking for this first year just to learn about what zone 0 is and to clean your gutters, get the combustible material away from your home. If you happen to have a hoarder home, try to get rid of that trash. If you have vents that are old, we want 1/8 inch or less vents, because embers tend to go into the vents and then go into the attic. And that's a really common way that houses are burning down. So that's the biggest thing that I want to emphasize that you can do right now when you leave this place is just general cleaning up maintenance. And then we'll start going into the more expensive remodels. Next slide. So this is basically just saying, we don't want you guys to, like, don't cut your trees down. Don't like tear down your wood fence, because we have a lot of people that are like, oh, I need to replace all of this, it needs to go. We're saying stop, take a breath, educate. We're gonna regroup, and also the guidelines could change, and like I said in the beginning, it is gonna be dictated by what your insurance is. So they might be more conservative than what we're going to be enforcing. So again, this is just an example of what the zone 0 guidelines are gonna be. So within 0 to 5 feet, we want your plants to be fire smart. So basically, we want them well watered, well maintained, and we want them to be not extremely flammable. An extremely flammable plant example would be like a cypress tree or a Mexican palm frond. Those things are just catalysts to a lot of these fires. So if you have those touching your house or within that zone 0, we're going to recommend that you do remove those. All vegetation must be maintained in healthy condition and free of dead material. Combustible mulch will not be used. We want vegetation to be kept away from the walls. The maximum height of plants not exceeding 18 inches, and that they should be spaced 1.5 times the plant height or 12 inches, whatever is greater. And plants will not create horizontal or vertical fuel continuity to adjacent plantings of the structure. So basically, we want to get rid of, we call it like the fuel ladder. So we just want, like the Montezuma fire, has everyone heard of that? So what happened there is they had a pile of rubbish or debris or combustible materials, and an ember came and it landed perfectly on this pile of trash. And then it started this little bonfire. And then from there, they had unreinforced basically eaves, and they had this deck, and it caught the deck on fire, and then it went from the deck, it found a void in the bathroom, and then it went up, caught the bathroom on fire, then it went to the attic, then it went to the whole house. But all of this started in zone 0. It started from literally a little pile of trash that was like right there. It skipped all of the canyon, all of the like defensible space, no trees burned, no grass. It was literally this ember that flew like a few miles. So that's why this is so important. It's happening in San Diego right now. Houses are burning because of this. We can go to the next slide.
Here we go.
Yeah. So in regards to this list, I recommend tonight, go on our website and go to the WUI guidelines zone 0. So from here, it's gonna take too long to go through every last detail. That's gonna be all of the requirements. But basically, it's a minimal plant vegetation is allowed in the 0 to 5 feet. For our guidelines, we are allowing some plants. No plants in potted buckets that are greater than 5 gallons. And again, the fire smart, but fire smart is it's vague on purpose because we don't want to be species police. But also we want people to use their common sense and their own judgment. And then regarding trees, so the city of San Diego is saying leave your trees, but we want no branches touching your house, and we want what's called the drip line, so like the dead and dying debris that falls from your tree. We want it to be elevated at least 10 feet above the roof or away as much as possible from the roof, if that makes sense. Next slide. So here's a picture of some cypress trees on fire. Again, very high oil resin content. And they just go up just like this. So we want you guys to see this. This is why. Next slide.
Cypress.
Cypress.
The Italian cypresses, they're like evergreens. They're green on the outside, but they're very dead on the inside. So if you have one, or if you have somebody that lives next to you, just kind of move the branch over a little bit and look inside. It's all dead and brown and dry in there. It's only green on the outside. It's kind of like when you have pickleweed or on the rear slopes. It dies on top of itself and rebuilds and it dies and goes. So a lot of people don't even realize that there could be a fire going up underneath the ice plant because it's all dead underneath. So it's kind of the same concept.
So this is again, we're just emphasizing that this is just education, right? This first year. It's for your safety and it's also for the firefighter's safety. So if you clear out your home and make it more defensible when that wildfire does come, and those engine companies show up at your house, they're gonna wanna protect your house because you reinforced it. You have, that metal fence 5 feet that's touching your house. You don't have any combustible material, et cetera, you're not a hoarder house. All of those things are gonna be red flags for us, like we're not gonna save those. So if you spend this time now, the likelihood of your house being saved goes up, and it also increases the safety of firefighters going in and protecting people's homes. So this is including safer building design, which is happening now for new construction, better vegetation management, knowledge is power, and improved evacuation routes and stronger community protection. So another thing that our division is doing is we're working on evac plans with communities, we're working with fire safe councils, and we're just trying to create a more safe and educated community so that if something does happen, you guys are aware. There's gonna be QR codes for the Genesis Protect app. And that's gonna be something that we recommend everyone downloads on their phone. And that's gonna be an alerting system if you get evacuated, that you have it on your phone, you're like, okay, let me grab my go bag, let me throw all of those combustible cushions that you have, or whatever like combustible items that you have around your house, and throw it in your house, do your kind of like final game plan, and then get out. Next slide. So here's a couple QR codes, and then you guys are more than welcome to share this PowerPoint. We have the, on the right is gonna be the community risk reduction information sign up. So if you go on that, that's gonna get alerted of new updates that we, and new projects we're working on. The left is gonna be the Ready, Set, Go, which is a wildfire prevention plan. It's in English and Spanish, and on the bottom, we have the Genesis Protect app for the Apple and for Android. And that's it, and we'll be taking questions.
So right now, also what we're offering for the wildfire mitigation program is, our group actually goes out and we do inspections on your home for you, if it's something that you want. We'll come and do a walk around with you, go over everything that's on your property, everything that we see. And we'll give you a report afterwards that goes over all the details of recommendations that you can do. Or things, if your house is perfect, you get that report and your insurance wants to cancel you, you can share that report with your insurance company. We do not share any of that information from the report with your insurance company at all. That would be on you to do or decide. My recommendation is that if your insurance company is happy with you right now, don't contact them, leave it alone because you don't want to bring yourself into the spotlight. I know that even with reports and everything that we've done for people, because we're out there every day doing these inspections for people, they're still losing their insurance or their insurance is still canceling them. The bottom line is, and this was from one of the insurance representative, is they're out to make money. They're not, so if they see a potential for loss, then they're gonna let it go. It's not about, like State Farm says you're in good hands. No, you're not, actually. You're in good hands as long as, they're happy with you, but once they see you as a potential for a loss, then they do cut you.
Is
So.
that service free?
There is a fee for, the HRA, so their home risk assessments. And there is a fee because it's about an hour that the inspector will spend with you and we'll go around the whole entire perimeter of the house. And also, we'll do what's called zone 2, which is your defensible space inspection over there. And it'll all be in a report that you'll have. And the report has pictures, it's about 3 pages long. And it goes over everything that we look at. And it's something for you to keep, and then you could do the recommendations little by little, because some of these things are expensive. I did go to one guy who did the 1/8-inch fence, and all he did was go get the metal mesh from Home Depot and put it over the outside of his fence, because he said he got a ridiculous bid on the work. And I thought, genius, all he did was paint it the same color as his house, and you couldn't even see him.
And what's the cost of it?
$163.
$163 for the home risk assessment. So if you do a fire safe council, I know that our fire chief says that if you create a fire safe council within your community, that he would offer I think it's like 3 or 4 free home risk assessments for the new creation of a fire safe council and for their members. So that's just something you guys might want to think about. Fire safety councils are great for the communities. They get you guys all together and then you're able to try to get grants to help people in your community to get things done. And then it's also a way for the community to help each other get work done that needs to get done. We have a lot of elderly people out there that aren't able to get out and do their yard work the way they used to be. And we all know how hard it is right now financially to make it for everybody. So when you create these fire state councils, you're helping out the community as a whole. So we really encourage it. And then they are able to apply for grants when they come up and get more things done for the community.
Is that like neighborhood watch?
Sorry?
Is that like a neighborhood watch, but for fire safety?
Yes. Kind of. Sort of, it does a little bit more. It has like evacuation routes and it does planning and it goes through like areas, like we have a fire safety council that's gonna be doing like they do dump-a-thons where they get these big dumpsters, because right, if you start doing all your work, what are you gonna do with it all? Because it doesn't all fit in the green bin. So, and it's expensive. I thought it was free to go to the San Diego dump because I'm a city resident and it's not free. So it's like I think I paid $89 and I was like, yes, and it was just a mattress, so. Yeah, so it's expensive because they just charge you per drop. It doesn't matter how much it is.
It sounds like this is basically talking about 0 to 5 feet from the house, but what about homes that you've got like canyons and homes along the canyons?
Those would be the ones that would be high risk. And those ones are actually in our proactive program. Getting hot up here. My jacket. So yeah, actually we have a proactive program within the city of San Diego And my group actually goes out and we do door-to-door inspections, so we'll knock and leave a door hanger and tell you that we're there. And when we're doing those inspections, it's solely for what we call zone 2, and that's to make sure that you have a defensible space. So that's the 30 to the 100 feet in the back.
So what prompts, it's kind of a longer question and statement, what prompts you to go out to particular homes? That's the question. Having a neighbor who was trying to do it, you know, strapping herself, trying to go down the canyon and stuff. And eventually, like last week, I saw Parks and Rec out there. So my question is how is Park and Rec? So there's two.
And it probably was city-owned property, because Park and Rec only goes on to city-owned land to do the brush management program. So if you have land, city-owned land that's behind you.
Yeah.
You can put in a complaint and then it'll go through the portal. So part of the complaint or put a get it done app, and then they'll funnel it to the department that owns the land and they'll take care of it. So get it done is the best way to go for those kind of complaints.
First question was,
Yeah.
yeah, that took her, she complained about her used get it done, but she took like a year and a half before any was coming out there and she was trying to maintain her.
So for open space, they actually do the work in the open space areas on a biannual program. So every other year is when they'll have their contractors out going through and doing the brush management within 100 feet of homes that are next to city-owned land within 100 feet of the property.
Who was taking all the palm trees out of the canyon like last year?
I think that was
Candy.
was it Ken?
The helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
there
candy.
was one that was doing, I think it was Kensington had it too. I think they had a grant for it. But you know what, they're gonna come right back because those are on the waterway and birds don't stop eating and they're pooping those things out because nobody's planting them. So.
On the fire safety council, if a community wanted to do that, there's obviously some kind of guidance.
We do, and actually, this lovely woman right here, she's part of that program, getting that together to help people create a fire safety council. And so I think we even had it on our website if you were interested.
Yeah, so I would go on Google San Diego County Fire Safe Council. And then that will explain kind of like how to create it. And you'll see a map. I'm not sure if your guys' community already has one or not. I should have looked that up before I came here. But so Canyonlands is someone that we're partnering with right now. And what they do is really amazing because they not only are they doing brush management, but they're incorporating native species, they're taking out invasive species. The palm tree project, I think they took out like 300 palm trees by helicopter. And they're gonna do about 300 more, I think, in the next like few months. So that's something that they've been working with Fire Safe Council. So Fire Safe Council is a community-based grassroots organization. So it's just a bunch of community or members that live in an area that want to come together that care about wildfire. And if you go on the county's website, it will have a detailed list of how to qualify, who you contact, you come together, you submit your request, and then we work with you, me, and then there's another girl named Morgan, and then also our boss, Alex Kane, who's we're gonna look at your map, who you're trying to include. It's pretty simple. And then once you become a fire safe council, then we help you again develop like these evac plans, all these things. But the biggest thing is that once you get your CWPP, that allows you to qualify for grants. So there's a lot of money federally, statewide, that once you have this, organization, then you submit your CWPP, now you can get money, because that project, I think the palm tree project cost about $3 million or something like that. It was very expensive, but it was all grant funded, which was amazing. So if that's something that you guys are interested, it just takes some community members to take lead. And then there's also like the Mid-City Coalition, there's like Kensington, Talmadge, Alvarado Estates, Golden Hill, all these communities that live in these like canyon areas. They are coming together and collaborating amongst themselves. And then like Raquel was saying, is we have a thing called a dumpathon, Dumpathon is where the city comes and we drop off 10 dumpsters free of charge. You don't have to pay anything, pick up, drop off, switch them out for about like 2 weeks. And this is only offered to fire safe councils. And this is a way to help the community get that brush out. And then also if you have that fire safe council, then you could, petition to work with Canyonlands, say for like the elderly communities to help them clear out the brush. So there's a lot of things that we can help you guys do.
What's the letters that you sent to get the certification?
It's called a CWPP. But I would focus on fire safe council. And then once you become that, then we would prompt you to create the CWPP. Question.
I've got a couple of questions, I'll try to make it quick. The first one, I'm gonna be doing the work on my house and property in the next couple of years. Someone mentioned something, I've not done research on it. Is there something called a fire resistant paint to paint your house?
There is, it is extremely expensive. I think it's a small can is over $100, and that was 2 years ago when a gentleman wanted to keep a gazebo that he had in his zone 2 because it was out in La Jolla and it was in Homes and Garden. So the chief made an exception for him to keep that, and that was the way he was able to do it. But it's a little, even those little small sample ones that you get for free or for $5. That's about the size the can was, and it was over $100. It's crazy expensive.
Actually, you should just spray over first, then paint it.
Probably expensive too. Second question, you mentioned the height of the plants at 18 inches, is that within the 5-foot zone?
Yes.
Okay.
And normally in those areas, we have small shrubs anyways, because it's usually around the walkway and right next to the house. You're never gonna cover up your windows with trees or bushes. I've never seen it.
And
I live in my old town over 50 years. Orders that beautiful trees and retaining wall. So that's how it was. That's when the trees went in, still there. And we can fireproof second.
that sounds good.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I had it just a moment ago, sorry.
But unless you get it.
Oh, Claremont.
Oh,
I know. So the Union Tribune had, I don't know if they had the map. I don't think they had a map. I think you have to go to the place that the site for to go to. And it's like all of the in our area is red.
I would say honestly, like 90% of San Diego's in the high fire severity
Yeah,
zone.
it was-
It's not, it is like ridiculously everywhere. It's even Balboa Park was on the high fire severity zone. So, and before we were only doing Canyon homes for defensible space because there were, and it was 45,000 homes in the city. And now with the new mapping, it's going to be, actually, was it something like 90-something thousand homes that are going to be within the high fire severity zone that we'll be trying to inspect. So it's going to be, before it took us about 8 years to go around the whole entire city of San Diego for the 45,000 homes. So now we're trying to focus on getting communication and education out to everybody so that this way you can do a lot of the work yourself, because it's going to take us a while to get there and to get our people out on site and to your property.
My name's Ben. I'm actually a contractor and I do work for the city of San Diego, but I live in Birdland, which is on like the west side of Serra Mesa, right near where the Meadowlark fire started a couple months back. And so I bought there about 5 years ago and I got the mailer for the high fire severity and I bought one of those order homes. And so I have a thick batch of, ice plant. I cleared that out. And I actually cleared out all the rubbish and trash out of the back area. I was more familiar with like zone 1, 2, and 3. And actually I got a code enforcement violation. That's been
Like too much?
no, well, it's been pending for 4 years. I got an inspection, I got a violation, not a violation, I got a notice of intent to file violation. And that's been pending for 4 years. And I'm completely familiar with all native species, and all I cleared was ice plant patch and trash. And so I guess it's two-part question. One is a commentary kind of on what seems to be a bit of a broken system. I'm on the canyon. I've never had an inspection or a door hanger. You know, that canyon is privately held. It's not owned by the city of San Diego. The homeless encampments have started refires in 5 years. Meadowlark looked like it was fought, maybe starting by cigarette.
Everywhere. I
Yeah.
think that's what happened with the Montezuma fire too, wasn't it?
Zuma fashion down.
So because my question is, we've seemed to have been incapable of like enforcing even zone 3 to, 1, because it's not enforced across the whole area. I've got, within proximity, I've got a 60-foot untrimmed uke that, wind driven Santa Ana fire would launch, projectiles of embers towards the houses. So I guess like how realistic.
So
is
this is not the rules. So the rules are, if your home is built after 1989, then you don't get automatically 100 feet. And so if they did a remodel, then the remodel of the home would be the year that the house was technically built. Because once you do a remodel, then you pull permits and you have to bring everything up to code. But so if it's older homes, then they do get inspected, and like I said, it was taking us 8 years to get around all of San Diego. So depending on how long you've been there,
Yeah.
because actually, I think we did Birdland probably about 10 years. It's been quite a while, because I've only been there once, and I've been with the city of San Diego for 15 years. Oh, yeah, we do. But we do go do those inspections, and then trees, as long as they're green growing and healthy, are not considered a fire code violation.
You can see the conundrum, and I did what I knew was proper, and I still have.
Department it was?
It was standard like DSD enforcement. It wasn't part of.
Okay, so DSD's building. So I don't know what, you have to reach out to one of them to find out what it was that was going on.
They've never filed an actual.
Oh, okay.
I'm pending for 4 years now. So
Yeah.
pending filing of a violation. But you can see like the mixed message, right? You do what you're supposed to
And
do.
they didn't say what the violation was?
They did not. They have not notified. Just.
Yeah, because if it's brush or it's anything to do with vegetation, then that would be our division that does that. That would be anything within 100 feet of a structure. And normally, honestly, it's usually somebody that sees something and is concerned and they file a complaint. And it comes in anonymous. We just go out and do the inspection.
The inspection sounds like it's different than the home risk assessment that you pay for.
The home risk is actually a report, and that's gonna be one-on-one with an inspector that will go around the property with you. At the end of that inspection, you'll get a report, and on the report, it's actually gonna have pictures of your home. It's a beautiful report. And it's something that you could use to keep as a bargaining tool for your insurance company. Or if there's some recommendations on that, then you could get the recommendations completed, have to come back out, update the report, and then this way you have it for yourself. So it's just something that is, if you're interested in doing, but if you live in an HOA, it's not necessary. But if you have a home and you're within a canyon area, then yeah, it would be something that would benefit you.
Separate from the report is the inspection itself.
No, the inspection's with you, but it's gonna just give you a report, because you're gonna have an inspector that's gonna walk the property with you. So it will be somebody from my team that actually will come out and do the inspection with you.
So it still is an inspection with your.
No, not like his. That one was actually, it was a citation, basically, is what that was. It sounds like maybe they felt like there was a possible violation of a code, but if they didn't tell you what it was.
You know, you can look it up and it still says
Yeah, it should say, so,
4 years.
and I think it's closed, right? 'Cause-
It's still here's pending.
I would reach out to them and ask them to close it for you, since it's, wait a minute.
I have been from home, and there's ice plant there, and I had no idea. I thought I was a little protected with that. Of course, it's been there for over 60 years, so it makes sense what you're saying. I guess my question is, and I am in the process of having somebody come out there, because there's a lot of good stuff there too. Well, once it's clear, do you have recommendations of what you want to slow? I mean, I suppose we don't want it just to be dirt. I sure don't.
How far out is it from your home?
Well, it's like a 5,000 square foot lot, that's all cement till there, and then it's down. So it's over 25 feet.
Okay.
Yeah,
So anything that's outside of like your normal area, you wanna keep it native and natural. So our native species are actually, yeah, native and natural. If it's like in the canyon, you don't want the ice plant in there, plus it attracts mice and rats. Everybody's like, hey, we got all these mice, well, we got ice plants, so that's like one of their favorite places to go and hang out.
nice things, you never see mice.
Yeah, well, they like the mice, so they come for them.
I'm just curious if you're saying that there's a lot of dead underneath unless you, so there's.
So if you clean it out, get it out of the canyon area and out of that slope area,
Right,
plus how it does, because it is dead underneath. If
right,
you have a rain event, it will pull all the dead stuff down and if you go to Claremont, you could drive and you can see the barren slopes over there. Because they had ice plants on all those canyons, and what happened is it gets so heavy that it just pulls it all down and it goes down to dirt. So you're better removing it slowly and just letting whatever native stuff pop up and just take care of it.
yeah, we have some of those big, I don't know, cactus. We call them century plants that have just such a hub of activity and they're so tall. And when the city came through to get the lower part of the canyon, they came up on our property and chopped those off. Isn't that odd? Aren't those native? Are those considered native? No.
Yeah,
Go figure.
okay, I saw, there you go.
Yeah, so ice plant is gone, get rid of ice plant, okay? Our evergreen trees. We wanna get rid of those as well.
Anything that has right up against your house, yes. Those are the cypress.
I would, again, we're not the species police,
Right.
so I would just do your own research on what is a fire safe.
But if you look underneath the green part and it's all dead stuff.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like that plant anything. Pepper trees, you said oil, is that a problem?
Again,
Okay.
yeah,
Alright.
we're not gonna go into the specific
Okay.
species.
Then my next question is. I don't know how to do QR codes, do you have a website address?
Yeah, we can pull it up at the end.
After that, I see that there's some online questions. I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to be checking that. I'm sorry. They're asking how they can get a home risk assessment, but I guess I can put that in there.
That'll be
So
on
I
the
take that
website.
back. Okay, so
I
sorry.
had a question.
I
I don't want
I am so happy to hear you say that about ice plant and Mexican Sam because in the past firefighters were like, oh, good, ice, no, but I also wanna know if you're gonna be coming to Claremont. Do you have plans?
we will be, I don't know how soon or how fast. Right now, we are kind of like, at a standstill because we're waiting for all of our new material to come out. So when we hit the streets and we start going to the neighborhoods again, we're gonna be handing out material to every home that we stop by. And trying to knock on doors to get as much people to, respond. This way, we can tell what's going on and get brochures and get onto our website so they can educate themselves on what they need to do.
I just wondered if you're gonna be maybe coming to the Claremont Town Council. Yes.
I don't know.
So if you go on our website, and maybe we can go on it together at the end, we can just navigate.
Do you want to put on that, QR codes?
The QR code that, it doesn't have,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the website.
we'll go over it when the questions are done, but you can request us to come, so someone requested us, they went on our website. And they said, hey, we would like the firefighters to present on zone 0, so anyone is allowed to do that. You just click on a link, click what you want, what your event is, throw in your email and a number for a contact person, and we'll come out and we'll give a presentation like this, or whatever you guys are interested in.
Yeah, an online question was asking, what about vinyl fences?
So I would recommend to go and double check on the guidelines, but vinyl fences, I do believe they're allowing for the city of San Diego guidelines within zone 0. But again, and if you go on, I recommend again, go on our, we have a thing that says fences, and it will have the specific comments about vinyl fences.
combustible?
I think they melt.
They just melt.
Yeah, they just melt.
They don't sustain combustion. That's what we're hoping.
And the suggestion. Did you know that Serra Mesa has a block party coming up July 11th? You could reach, people are reaching it tonight.
So unfortunately, due to the budget cuts, they're actually cutting our community resource officer. Captain Alma Lowry, that would be something that, like, her position, she would be out there campaigning, stuff like that.
Zone 0, she would be doing that for Zone 0.
She would be doing that for any sort of fire department requests, recruitment, elementary schools going to the fire station. So that position is getting cut right now from the fire department. So, but we can do Zone 0 if you request us. If that's something important to you, I would again go to our website, and then hopefully we could provide that service if it gets approved.
Just in case you're wondering, they closed it 3 weeks ago, turns out.
Oh, they did.
And they marked it as closed, not accepted budget.
Yeah.
Final result.
Good things.
I was just gonna tell you, I have a vinyl fence in the very front, and so when this all came out, I did call alpine fencing. They are pretty reasonable, it's expensive, but they are reasonable, and what they said is they got together and fire department, I think it was like the assistant marshal or something, I've been in communication with him about this, and he said you can do vinyl up to that 5 feet before your house, then it goes metal, and then when it gets past the 5 feet on the other side, you can continue with the vinyl. But their metal looks like vinyl, and then it's painted, so that way it looks like it's just all vinyl instead of looking at metal.
I've seen that. We're still waiting for the state to release their guidelines too. So this is why we're educating everybody, because the state has not released their guidelines. So once the state gives their guidelines of how they're going to do the enforcement and what's going to be allowed, then that's when we'll probably pivot or keep moving the same way we're moving. Because you could be more restrictive, but you can't be less restrictive than what the state says.
Also, if you have a shared fence and you know it needs to come down because it's in really bad shape, so you're gonna do something to store, fire wise. But the neighbor can't afford to help. Is there any way that you can go out of that? I mean, without paying for the whole thing yourself.
You could still just change, out that portion of the 5 feet that touches your home, so that this way you break that connection.
Okay.
So if the fence is on fire, it's not gonna come towards your house.
So I'm just gonna read directly from the guidelines. So as a part of an approved compliance plan provided by the San Diego Fire Rescue Department, all existing fences and gates within 5 feet of the structure must be made of non-combustible materials unless they meet these exceptions. Existing vinyl and fencing without combustible reinforcement may be located within 5 feet of the structure, provided that it runs parallel to the structure walls. There is no fence. The fence is no less than 4 feet from the structure. It doesn't present an unreasonable fire risk due to its condition, height, fuel accumulation. It is maintained free of debris and no vegetation exists between the fence and the structure. That answers some questions.
So this may be a silly question because it's not my house, but it is my neighborhood. But down the hill, there's those oil tanks, and they're not officially a house, obviously, and they don't have a fence but how are those? Because I was looking up the map and I saw my house is there, but so are those oil tanks in the Zone 0. We're just kind of wondering how are they taking this precaution for zone zero?
So they would have the same zone zero requirements.
Yeah,
Hmm.
those special precautions, those oil
I mean,
rigs.
I don't work in hazmat,
Yes,
so I'm sure that they do have other requirements because it is a big fuel load.
I know.
But as far as like propane tanks and stuff like that, that are on like property, those are gonna be like required to have the same zone zero guidelines. So those would be the same, and hopefully they have other protections. Question.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if I misunderstood. But what I thought I heard was you said that if there's a fire and you go to a house and they're not fire compliant, the fire, you know that, you're not gonna protect them?
So if we go to a house, there's a lot of factors that determine whether or not we're gonna save your house. Where is the fire? Is it?
Tiptoeing around it, you're tiptoeing around it. Is that what it means?
It's dependent, everything is subjective. If a fire captain shows up, it's up to him or her to decide whether or not they think that house is salvageable. But they're gonna use common sense, basically, like if there's a huge heavy amount of like fire load. If it's a hoarder house, like we're not saving those houses,
Okay.
because that's dangerous for us. We're gonna save the house
Next to it.
that's put some effort in.
Just something I heard on,
No,
Yeah.
it's because we don't have enough fire trucks to put out in the entire neighborhood. So when you do a triage, you gotta look, hey, what houses are gonna be safe? What can we do?
like
You know,
outside.
So, yeah, it's true, because when you're looking at houses as a whole, even houses that are on the hillside, if you have your brush management and you could get a firefighter back there and he's gonna be able to pull a line and get it cleaned and get it out, they're gonna do it, they'll go through your yard and take care of it. But if you have brush all the way up to your house and you've got trash all the way up to your house, then they're gonna go to your neighbor's house and try to keep that house from catching fire because they know they're not gonna be able to save that one. And it's just a triage, and it's just the way it is, unfortunately. We don't have enough fire engine trucks to be in front of every single house.
What is non-combustible mulch?
It means it doesn't sustain fire or flame.
Like gravel or rock.
Cuts it out.
So a combustible mulch would be like
The
wood,
wood,
chips.
everything that we all have been buying.
That's the thing for our yard.
Yeah.
I got it for a long time.
Yes, because we all do that to save water and keep our plants moist. But now we know that, okay, if the ember comes, it also catches fire really easy. But stone gravel is actually really pretty and it does the same thing. It's expensive, so I started doing mine little by little, and it started in the areas where the wind blows. So when you walk around your house, you know which way the wind is blowing, so you know to go around and do things, because you can always tell where it's gonna go. Because all your leaves and everything else will collect in that one area, so that's the area you should start.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Is there fire retardant stuff you can put on your wood fence? You know, stuff.
So the way that I like to think about the wood fences, so imagine a set of dominoes. And the set of dominoes is on, the first one's on fire, and all the dominoes are matchsticks, right? So you have these, and they're gonna follow, the wood fence is like dominoes of matchsticks. And the reason that we don't want them to touch your house is because that's a massive fire load that's gonna possibly ignite your house. So if you're creating that 5-foot barrier, right? So that means like touching your house from 5 feet is metal. It can be wood past that, outside of the zone zero. So that's why we're saying, don't take down all your wood fences right now. No, we just wanna stop it. The thing is we wanna be able to live within the wildfire. We can't stop them, it's part of the natural process. Fire has been a huge part of California history. And we have a huge fire load because we've been suppressing it this whole time. And the other thing is we want you guys to keep your houses safe. So it's not all about compliance, it's just about you protecting your home. We want you to have your home. we want there to be a fire and then we put it out and maybe an ember comes and your house is be able to defend itself. It can withstand a little bit of flame and then it goes out. That's the goal here. The goal is to not have the next Palisades. It's not to write the next citation because we don't have enough people. That's not our goal. We're not gonna do that. It's just for safety and to protect everyone's question.
Yeah, are you judging the urban interface, you know, the front of the house, the frontage to the street, the same as necessarily the back, which is the wildland interface? You know, is that judged in the same way? Because this seems like a pretty broad brush, you know, because you could do a lot on the back where fires actually get.
So for us, if your home's in the highest fire severity zone, we're gonna look at the whole entire house. And that's because who knows where the fire's gonna come from? So if the fire comes from going one way, you know, we walk around. The inspection when we come out actually starts from the front of the house and then we make our way to the door and then walk around the entire perimeter.
So most of, or a lot of the houses have a 5-foot setback in between the houses, and maybe there's a fence running down in between. If that be considered 5 feet, then I mean, it's very close to 5 feet long. You know what I mean? Because the standard setback is probably about 10 feet between the houses, and then people split them.
So are you asking about like replacing that whole area or?
Well, I'm just saying within, it would that be out of the 5 feet?
So it would be anything from where your house is, where the house is, and then out 5 feet, so it's right along the perimeter of the house.
Okay. The other question is, how about boxing in the eaves? Is that there gonna be,
That's something that we recommend. That's something that would be a recommendation is boxing the eaves in and then doing stucco underneath, because that gives it a 1 hour
I have an off-track question, with July 4th coming up. Our neighbors next door are always shooting off fireworks up into the canyon, and it drives me absolutely mad, and we're just. What do I do? I mean, I don't wanna go, but there's a big raging party going on.
Yeah, that would be a complaint with the police department. That's gonna be their jurisdiction. Yeah. Any more questions? And then we can go through the website really quick. Yeah, do you want to take the website, just like click through?
Do you need a chair?
Just the city of San Diego. Yeah, and share it, so this way they.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be, San Diego.
The property is gonna be under the same.
Yes, anyone that's in the very high fire severity zone is.
I see all these commercial areas running and bushes all the way around, all the landscape, they're gonna have to remove all that.
We'll see. Again, we're like in the,
Baby steps?
yeah, baby steps.
Okay.
That question?
How about artificial turf?
Artificial turf, I believe is allowed. Again, I would reference this, yeah. And then grass well watered under 3 inches.
0.
So the biggest thing is like water maintained free of debris. That's what's gonna save your house. Question?
Compliance enforcement, is that being done by San Diego County Rescue or fire rescue, or is that San Diego City?
City.
Or is that,
Yeah, the city.
and then code compliance within the fire department, correct?
It's community risk reduction, so it's it actually pulls up as community risk reduction. Turn this around for us. It's community risk reduction, and it's gonna work on pulling it up right now. Are you able to?
Which one are you gonna do, from there?
Go on the website, so go up, down, I mean, scroll down. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is the web, so you're gonna go to the City of San Diego Fire Rescue. And then when you get to the page, you're gonna go on the toggle that says Community Risk Reduction. On the Community Risk Reduction page, it actually has, so you can request an inspection, it talks about zone 0.
Helen was telling you how you can sign up so that this way you can get all of the.
You already signed up for the assessment, so I think that's the way to go.
Sign up, stay informed, and it'll actually, once the codes come in and things start happening, you'll be alerted to what's popping up.
Is this the same place where you can find a map to see what?
So go to the wildfire prevention and mitigation.
So.
Or actually, we're the very
Yeah,
very
right down here.
Corner.
Yep, I see
But
this
then
one
that's
here.
gonna be on the.
This one?
So they scroll down.
What, why is that there? I'm sorry. Keep going.
Oh, there's the
Where?
maps. New,
Right here?
all the way to the right. Keep going.
There.
Yeah.
Where? Okay, this, I'm like, where am I?
Yeah, click on that.
Okay,
Keep scrolling down,
okay.
and then city of San Diego, there you go. And then from here, you can go to the magnifying glass and you can put your address, or you can zoom in and out, and
Yeah.
this is gonna be how.
We'll do the Serra Mesa library. I know, right?
Great area.
What's the?
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be military.
Yeah.
So it looks like you guys are.
Alright.
Ah,
Okay,
that's
San Diego.
weird.
Yeah, most of it is. So so this is gonna be coming down from the state. Cal Fire is the one that did this. Based on like hazard risk models.
You see that?
If we could go back though, I wanted to show you guys how to find the guidelines.
Why does it say military, by the way? Why are they? Why is it military?
I think you click on it, it's showing where.
No sense.
Okay, so
It was red earlier.
I know, where am I going now?
So let's go back,
What, Ben, I think click off of it.
yeah, there you go. Okay, so come here, so scroll up. And then go back to wildfire prevention and mitigation right there. So you're gonna click on that, you're gonna scroll down. And then learn more about brush management, go up a little bit, click on that blue. Yeah, right there. So this is gonna be the most useful section for you guys. This is all property owners, go down. And some definitions. And keep going down. So right here, view the guidelines. Right there, click on that link. And if you want, I recommend if you can send this out, this PDF out specifically, if you wanna save it.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the official guidelines down to the T. All the questions for now. Yeah, so you can go through and look exactly yourself and see exactly what's coming. Again, education phase. And yeah, that's all we have for you guys. Feel free to request us. We can come present again. We have flyers and brochures in, like, on the press, getting printed. So the next one, what we got you? I do not have. So this, the PDF that I'm showing, if you guys would distribute that would be the most helpful, yeah. And then I can give you my email address. There's also a generic email that I recommend using. I'm gonna be out for 5 months in like 2 weeks, so.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But my coworkers are more
Oh,
than,
here.
yes.
So, I don't know if you send it to if you call our hotline number, which is 619-533-4444. You can speak to our girl who actually works in our section, and she's the one who answers that line. So if you have any questions, she'll actually
put your information down and send it to me and I can get a hold of you. Or you can, so 619-533-4444. That is our hotline number, and we do have somebody who actually answers that and calls everybody back, and she will take all your information and email whoever it is in our department that needs to be the one getting in contact with
And get
you.
her done another one,
I'm sorry?
get it done another way.
Yeah, get it done. That takes a little bit longer because what it is somebody takes everything to get it done, and what they do is they funnel it to figure out what
Yeah.
department it goes to.
Yeah.
So that does, but if you know it's fire related, then you can go straight to that. And then if she feels like it's like an inspection or something, then she processes it and puts it through our system.
What's that number that specifically get you to, fire rescue resource or?
It is actually our fire hotline for our brush management section, which is the 619-533-4444.
And what was your specific department again?
So,
What's your specific department?
I am actually with the wildland management, so I'm the supervisor for the group. But if you have other things, other inspection requests or anything, you can call them, she'll get you the right person. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the dinner the number.
Okay,
That's what it is for you and your baby.
Oh, thank you so much.
you know what you're having?
A boy,
Do you already have one? Are you?
a girl.
We'll give it up for Elena. That presentation answered all the questions. We'll send out that PDF document next to next on the list is our very Judy Mitchell.
Thank you so much.
She's going to be giving you updates on Mission Valley campus and NTS.
There, thank you all for coming and caring about our community. I'm Judy Mitchell, one of the board members of the Serra Mesa Community Council. I have a quick update for you on the Mission Valley campus of San Diego State. You've all seen the cranes and the construction going on. They finally did the groundbreaking in May for the first affordable housing project that's on site. It will include 120 units, 1 to 3 bedrooms. 99 of those units are reserved for affordable housing for people with 50% of the San Diego area average income, which is $82.7 thousand income for family of 4. And the first occupancy is expected in 2028. And one thing that is a good piece of news is the affordable housing status of those units will be in effect for 55 years. So that is one of the things planning groups around San Diego have been fighting for. What happens is when a developer builds something and is required to give affordable housing, they try to limit that year limit of how long it has to stay that category. So what happens is they'll sell a house as affordable housing. If the person who bought it decides to move in a few years and that limit is not on there, it could go full market value. So this will be a 55-year limit for the affordable rate. And that will be particularly beneficial because the first priority of these houses for purchase will go to faculty and staff at San Diego State. So there will be turnover. That way, when that person leaves, it will still say affordable to the next person. And one good thing that I think that they're doing, which is nice to hear, is San Diego State has chosen to hold out 20 of the units to be solely for persons with either physical or intellectual disabilities. So that was kind of a neat thing to hear that they're doing. And there's going to be construction ongoing right now. It's already started. They're building a cutting edge warm water laboratory, it's called, and that will be to promote education, research, and training in the area of watershed and water technology, which we all know is needed. And it will enhance educational careers in climate improvement, which is always beneficial to the community. So we're glad to hear that they're doing that. One very good piece of news is that our Serra Mesa Planning Group last week voted to submit a letter to San Diego State President to get them to comply with their promise to give us our parking back for the trolley. So we have been, I won't say fighting that issue, but for those of you that are not aware of it, when San Diego State purchased the Snapdragon Stadium property, where the stadium was built, MTS runs the trolley, Metropolitan Transit District, but their ownership, MTS, stops the minute you come down the steps off the trolley. As soon as you hit ground, San Diego State owns everything from there on. So we have been working with MTS initially to see about parking. They have no control over that. So as soon as that lot was taken over by San Diego State, construction began, all parking was taken away for the trolley. They initially said we would have parking for the trolley. Now we've heard things like, well, it's not really a park and ride, but being that we don't have any direct bus that goes from here to Serra Mesa right down the hill, it's kind of eliminated our chances to go ride the trolley unless you can walk the hill, which is a little bit steep. So anyway, MTS has been very cooperative in trying to help with us work with San Diego State. So the Planning Commission last Thursday voted to send a letter. Thanks to Cindy, who did an excellent job. They're just announcing the library's closing attendance. So thanks to Cindy, who did an excellent job as our deputy dog and dug it in the records and pulled out every statement that San Diego State's ever made, promising to give us parking. They're all outlined. And they're being reminded that bicycles and people that want to get down to the stadium can't get there now. And so we'll see what happens. That letter will be going out in the next few days. So good. Yeah.
Thank you. Hold on, I think you might have a question. Sorry, you might have a question. There's someone asking who's talking right now. So we have a question for you. Sorry, not to interrupt you. Yeah.
I keep talking. And keep going.
I don't know. Keep going.
Okay, and then a quick update on MTS, Metropolitan Transit System. The district has been wonderful about community involvement, trying to bring on board people that can provide their input throughout the community that are interested in partaking. They are having regular community group meetings that you can volunteer for. I've been attending all their sessions. They even have the CEO of MTS who attends all the session and sits in with us and listens to ideas and suggestions. For those of you that may not have heard this, MTS is facing a major shortfall in their budget starting in about a year. They were hoping last year to put a measure on the ballot to add some taxes for the MTS system. After the sales tax didn't go through, they decided not to push it and ask for a sales increase. They have done everything they can to try to fill the shortfall. They did make quite a bit of money by putting advertising onto the buses and the trolleys. As you've noticed, when the trolley or buses go by now, they're big banners all over them. That is bringing in quite a bit of money, especially around Comic-Con. And the city also made quite a bit of money from the banners they put on the sides of the buildings, which is illegal, but they got them up quickly the day before and then took them right down. MTS did not do that. Those were private individual groups, but it did bring in some income to the city. So they do unfortunately have to go forward with a fare increase. It's the first one in a long, long time. It's still very reasonable. Before the increase can be approved, it has to go to the Sandbag group, which will be on June 9th. There's a public hearing. Anybody is welcome to attend and speak. And you don't have to be present. If you want to submit to the MCS website some information or opinion, you're most welcome to. The cost that's going to happen, the increase is quite reasonable. For example, the fare for a one-way ride is going to go from $2.50 to $3. And then that will be in the fall. And then a second phase will go in 2027. So it'll go from $2.50 to $3 this fall, and then to $3.25 in the following year. For a monthly pass, it would be $72 currently, it would go to 85 and then 95 a year after. So it's still a very reasonable deal. And for the senior passes, they're keeping the 1 day ticket from $1.25 will go up to $1.50, which isn't bad. And for a monthly senior pass, it's currently $23, it's gonna go to 28. So they kept that proportion down for the senior passes, and then a year after they go to 30. So that's still not too bad for a monthly pass. So if you're interested, there is an MTS on track, it's called, it's their website where you can stay informed, sign up for information, updates, provide information. And there you might want to check out some very beneficial, I call them click-ons they have on the website. One of them is the MTS trip planner, where you can actually go in to just type in MTS trip planner on the website and enter that address. It will bring up a screen that lets you put in where you live, where you want to go. It'll tell you the best way to get there on public transit, whether it's bus to trolley or combination. And it will tell you exactly what the best method is to get to your location. And then you can also go on, the two together will be really great. I think they're fairly new. The other one is called the MTS Commuter Cost Calculator. You can put in the same trip and it will tell you how much it would cost you in fares to take that ride versus what it will cost you in gas and your vehicle. So it's a comparison chart, and with the price of gas, we can guess which one went out.
What was that one called?
It's called the MTS Commute Cost Calculator. And the first one was the MTS Trip. And MTS has been, like I said, very interested in community involvement. They want to know they even had a session, we mentioned at their last meeting here, where you could go and they had a board where they had the entire transit map up. And you could go draw lines on what you preferred, what we needed, what we wanted, and they took all that input in and we're trying to do everything we can to help with service, which right now in the United States is one of the best out there and the best prices.
Back to SDSU. Have they given up on opening up Jacaranda Street?
No.
For a while there.
It was first fall, it was October, then it was May, now, yeah. Right now, I'm gonna say I'm unsure, they keep putting up little things that it may open here. It's just depending on the construction, so right now I think it's best to consider it closed for a year otherwise. Because you can see where the crane is, I mean, it's right there. They can tell us May, they can tell us August, but there's no way, if you go down there and look at what's happening right in that corner, it's gonna be a while.
So Jacaranda is the one that goes down to the Mission.
Yes, if you were to take the hill down to the stadium and go through the travel, into the stadium parking lot, it's that next light where you turn left and you used to be able to wind through the Mission. Now the only traffic that's allowed through there is on that frontage road, and that's gasoline trucks going to the refinery there.
But that is supposed to be open eventually.
Yes, Jacaranda is definitely supposed to reopen.
I have a question. So you mentioned the affordable housing.
Yes.
That was Scott. You mentioned, I thought you said, is it rental housing like apartments or is it actual homes? Because I was confused.
Homes.
Homes.
So far from what we've heard is affordable housing for sale.
Okay.
Now, they do have more than one residential unit on the property that's planned. So there'll be more developments, but that's the first affordable housing that will be for sale. And the income level will establish who gets to apply for the affordable housing. So those will be.
And those are for home. Okay, good to know.
When will that be completed, you know?
Or when will that be?
The build.
They're expecting occupancy in first occupancy 2020.
So like the fall,
Well, they're hoping that you know, case was not for that.
As soon as the cycles are still using the same route road, the old grass. And it's still over this, it's so fun, and it's going to stop the escape property.
Yes, and I believe that was submitted to Alex, who we were hoping would be here because it is updated by the president.
I think they're at, not in session this week.
Okay. Can we shoot Miles a question about it?
Yeah, that's definitely like.
You need trouble you to write down the detail of the area that you're talking about, so he can forward it to Miles. We'll remind him that we still have no answer.
I think I put it right 2 times that I knew it.
And all her to remind him of it does. And for those of you that may not have heard, there was a decision made this week that the parking in Belleville Park is now gone at the end of the year. It's to a little bit of a lawsuit for the trash fee, not to the 200 feet each other, but it's kind of a give and take. We'll give you that back if we need.
And if they reduce the trash fee, or they're going to.
It's a. It's $6.
It comes out, it's a compromise, they said, but it kind of a token, they threw in Belleville Park.
But then doesn't it go back up after what years? 3 years?
For the trash,
Yeah.
it talks about that. I haven't heard about a 3-year plan yet. Originally, it was supposed to go up in a few years. Now it's going down a little.
It's going down initially, but each year, starting in 2028.
It was supposed to go up.
And
And they didn't say anything about taking away that increase yet.
no,
They did say it will go down the end of this year, I believe it is.
Yeah, it's 50s to mid-30s.
They also did say that you're not getting any money back. Won't be worth paying out on fire. So it's like Vegas, you know, once you pull the handle, it's.
That's it.
They did not win.
We have one more person
Yes,
on Zoom here.
yes.
Would like to.
Any other questions for Jude?
Yeah, I have one more question. So the Belleville card is in effect like as of June and
January.
next.
Like.
January 1st.
It's already come from that.
And.
No.
Yeah, we have one more. Great. So since we last talked, we now have a member that represents our airport. His name's John Embry, and I think he's on Zoom and he's going to give us the latest update.
Thanks. Greetings. My name is John Embry. I've recently appointed the Serra Mesa representative, the Airport Advisory Committee. Happy to kind of give a quick little intro of myself. Resident since 2002. I live right under the flight path. The noise is there, and the airplanes are here, and we have a world-class flight training facility, or several of them. From my perspective, I don't know exactly what I'd like to know about it. So happy to take questions right off the bat, or just plan on giving you a really quick rundown of what happened to the last meeting. Flights for April were about 32,000, actually down 1% from last year. Overall this year, they're up 4%. So last year for now. Noise complaints for the month of April, they're broken down by neighborhood. So if we make noise complaints for Serra Mesa, it all gets put in our bucket. This last month, there's a very significant increase in the Claremont noise reports. They went from 4 to 40, so 900% increase. The only way we can kind of understand what that is it's just it allows the committee more information. There's a problem with noise. So the thought behind that was they had in the Claremont, their version of the Observer, they had a noise brochure or a little flyer. So we created one and put one in the Observer this last go around. So you can kind of take a look at that. Kind of one of the other interesting pieces about the sound and noise is the airport director, Rubio, is applying or is trying to get funding from the FAA to perform a noise survey. The last one they did was for the draft programmatic environmental impact report, and that was dated probably about 10 years. So good to have that redone. more information will be coming as they get progress on how that funding comes along. Sticking with the FAA for a minute, they are in the process of building a new air traffic control tower. It'll be located on the south side of the runway as opposed to the north side where it is now, and to the east of where the parking lot is, where the operations center is. So kind of a new facility there. Weird fun fact is we are one of 4 in the country air traffic control towers that point directly west. And as the sun is setting in the afternoon, it glares in the air traffic controller's eyes, and it creates a hazard. San Diego Community College District is also planning on demolishing their 6,000-foot hangar at the west end of the property, and will be building a 2-story, 1,800 square foot hangar and teaching facility. The only other big news is the draft EIR that we did for the airport master plan is still being reviewed. No firm date has been given on when their response will be, but the gouge is in a few months, but we've been hearing that for a few months, so your mileage may vary. It's concerns.
You have a question.
I just wanted to say thank you for joining the group so that you can represent us. Really appreciate it. We've had a long time member that represented us who is no longer involved with that project, and we really, really appreciate that. It's going to be busy for you, and you are doing a great job so far.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We're super excited to finally have some good representation. Somebody to come to our meetings and answer all the questions. Do you have any questions that you forgot to ask John?
I have one quick question. Did you just mention that, I don't know if you mentioned this, but did you say that the flight path changed? Because I noticed when I sit in my backyard that the planes are going in a different direction over my house. They're going the opposite way. They used to go, let's just say they're going in a different direction. So where they used to fly back, they now fly in front. Okay, so let's just say that.
To answer your question, no, the flight pattern hasn't changed, or excuse me, the way they fly hasn't changed. What does change is the weather, and what they'll do is they'll take off from a different direction when the wind's blowing from one direction versus the other. So it's kind of it all depends on how the wind's blowing, really, how the wind is blowing.
Okay.
And thanks, Carrie. I was in the chat. So we have a flyer here in the back for the noise complaints, or how to take a picture.
Thank you.
We only have a few, but yeah, there's been a big increase in the way that noise has actually been presented, Don. So we appreciate all those efforts.
Good job on the flyers.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for John? Do you forget, if you remember your question later, you can always send me an email. I can forward it on to John. If you have
You can also contact me at aac@serramesa.org.
Yeah. You got to put that on our next agenda list. All right, anybody online have any questions or comments?
No, I just have one question.
Judy?
For those of you that did not hear, we are having, it's not a council group function, just a community function. The Serra Mesa Block Party, 6th annual block party will be July 11th, from 1 to 7, down west of the post office. For those of you that haven't been in the past, they close about 3, maybe 4 city blocks, have usually 3 live bands, bring the dance and shit. It's very fun, and there's free food and booths and vendors. And there's a website link that John, one of our board members, is just putting together, and it lists some of the vendors they've lined up for food already. Sounds like there's going to be some goodies, not the free list. These are vendors where they'll be purchased, but they used to have a barbecue, and last year they had hot dogs and free beer and wine.
There had to be at least 1,000 people, please. probably too bad.
They gonna have a car show too?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's Serra Mesa big block party.
Yeah.
I think is what. Yeah.
Right down the street.
So our next meeting is Tuesday, September 29th, 6:30 PM, same place. We'll do our best to keep everybody informed, and we're not gonna spam your email box. But we'll send you some messages on upcoming events, and we'll remind you of September 29th when it gets closer. And thanks so much for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We will put the presentation on the website.
Yes. Yeah, topic on our website, that's usually where we post all the.
Actually on the comment.
All the relevant stuff.
Yes. I'm not in some stage, yeah.
Yeah.